and happy Tuesday. Welcome to another Tuesday, another edition of From Boxes to Butterflies. And this one's going to be a lot of fun. My dear sis is here. And we have so much to talk about. But before I dive into that, let's go through the usual announcements. Number one, check in with those around you. So many of us, we've gone through stuff. We're going through stuff. Maybe we know something's about to happen and we're getting ready to go through something. And when others are there and they're checking on us, you think about those that you know who had a medical issue, a family crisis, an issue at work. Take your pick. And so you were there when they were going through it as they were dealing with their struggles, but then they start smiling again. Then they start looking like everything is fine. And then everybody just kind of like, it's almost like we're like, oh, there's a smile, they're fine. But if you go and ask how somebody's doing and they say fine, that means you need to dig a little bit deeper. Because fine, as Agape defined it, is feelings inward, not expressed. So just because we look like we're doing well, after having gone through something, it just means we're good at those masks. And CJ and I were talking about this at one point. It's like, we have a PhD in wearing masks and what it means to be able to show up all the time, but that doesn't mean that inside we're looking like how we are on the outside. And that's the way for most people. I know so many out there, that's how it is. So check in on those around you, make sure they're okay. Speaking of CJ, I love my sis, Level Up Academy, Netflix of education, the queen of publicity. She does so many different things. Check her out. She has access to all these different industries when it comes to publicity. And she's got a podcast, radio, TV, live stream, always going on. And then there's also the press releases that she can do, the access to premium magazines at a discount, all these different things. If you've got something, you're ready to get it out there, connect with CJ, and she's not only the perfect person to help lift you up, to level you up. If you're not ready, she will give you pointers and ideas on what you need to do to get ready. And when I talk about the Hounds of Business, here's a community that my first thought is collaboration over competition. And when it comes to the Hounds, check out Mike Ashebrainer, check out the Hounds, because here's a group of people who, many of them, they may look like they do the same thing, yet they get together, they do projects together. And it's that collaboration. When you collaborate, even if you might sit back and go, oh, they're doing the same thing as me, I can't work with them. Yes, you can. You can come up with a project, work together, create something special. And on top of that, you're going to find that your anxiety is likely to go down, especially if somebody that you can really work with, because you're sharing everything involved with this project. It's not a solo project anymore. You've got somebody to work with. You learn from each other. You reach new audiences between each other. So the Hounds of Business is a great place for that. Check them out, see what's happening, and go in and join the Hounds. Go in and find your fit. And then I have my dear sis, C&M Consulting, Danielle. She's an HR expert, and when it comes to HR, she's also very empathy driven. I mean, she knows HR, she knows the requirements, the rules, and how to help people make sure that they're meeting the guidelines and requirements that need to be done. So when it comes to you're looking at your own HR, you're wondering if you have the proper guidelines in place, if you're meeting some of the requirements, maybe for your industry or maybe for HR in general. Contact her and have that conversation to see where you're at and how she can help you move to the next level. And then I'm going to bring up my sis for the next ones because I start with this one, and in like 3 seconds ish, you're the perfect person to talk this one.
Yeah, Bella Grace. Well, actually, I'm waiting for April Wyatt's video sometime this week, maybe next week, on her experience on this Alexa. I've heard so many good things about, her effects after, right? And I'm still working on Deborah to get one of the scientists to explain exactly what the magic juju inside this Alexa. Okay, guys. And it tastes really good. It tastes almost like the NAD, the NAD that we take, which I still take every day.
That is
and I also take collagen. I have like 4 collagens that I use both internally and out. One of these is this collagen that I take pills. I also take powder collagen with my coffee and water. And then I have NAD plus and this. That's literally what I take. And it's not a short term that you want. You want the long term. But for April, I think in about 5 or 7 days, she found wow, her joint knee pain and all that was good. So check it out with the Alexa and tell me, give me a feedback.
I love that, and it's like I can't wait till I can get to the point where I can do it too.
Yes,
I need it. And the last one I've got up here is our dear sis and niece, because they're still going through stuff. How would you describe what you've seen with them? And I mean, poor Elise has got appointments left and right still. So we've got the GoFundMe out there. What would you add to this, sis?
I definitely would say that Elise is not out of the woods. She is still, with California, it takes a long time to get the doctors to see you. And so she still has in and out of temperature, her blood pressure is still low. She's not 100%. When you see a 5 or 6-year-old, your expectation would be they would be running around with their friends, playing outside. It's summer. You got to go to the beach. You got to go to the party. She can't do that. She can't be out in public too much, right? She can't be doing that. So she's doing a lot of indoor activity, and she can't also have friends over, too many friends, because she's immunocompromised. She has immune issues, right? Yeah. So this poor 6-year-old is literally becoming like an 80-year-old bound to her house. That's sad. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got the GoFundMe out there, and we just, because the other thing is a lot of people, they don't realize how much families have to spend out of pocket for these kind of emergencies too. There's stuff that's covered, but there's stuff that's not. And it's really hard, especially if you have to take extra time off of work because you've got all the appointments. So that's why CJ set this up, and we've been doing what we can to boost our dear sister. And so with that, let's see who is here, beginning with our dear sister. And Russ is here. And every time Lisa's here, it pops up. It's like, I love to give her a little bit of plug, because when it comes to menopause, perimenopause, here's an expert. She's the person to talk to. And guys, you're not out of the woods either, because you get to deal with andropause. And you got questions, she's got answers. So always love to give her a little boost, because, and one of our authors, she's amazing. Leo's here. So with all of that, um, and we're talking about what is it to be a rebel with a cause, and you started, as we were talking, you started talking about archetypes. So how do you want to start this one off?
First of all, can you hear me?
Yep,
Okay.
perfectly.
I just went to with my little microphone. Okay. So I don't know if you guys are familiar, and thank you guys for coming in. But for those of you who are watching this live or replay, I wanted to talk about when we're discussing about rebel with a cause, that's a character, right? You see a pattern and a character traits that we all have, and archetypes are universal character patterns across cultures, across myths, across stories, psychology. Carl Jung talks about that as well. They actually reflect a deeper role that plays in our lives, especially during a transformation. Hence, rebel with a cause, because you only rebel if you have a cause. And some people are very rooted on, and they truly believe in what their cause is, whether it's a correct cause or not correct cause. We're not here to judge the cause. We're here only to know, like, they're really, really passionate about what the cause is, right? So in Rebel with a Cause, you're not just telling what happened, you're actually revealing who you are becoming. And this is moving beyond boxes. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So by using the archetypes, which I will be talking about the 5 archetypes today, and then you guys can tell me which archetypes that you guys belong to. It literally will clarify your identity. People feel your story on a deeper level when they can categorize it subconsciously, right? It actually try to simplify complexities. We are very complicated. Human beings are like, I make it simple, but really we're not that simple. Instead of explaining every detail, the archetypes actually speaks volume, right? It's like I was the warrior, not the victim. Kind of like shortcut, right? You know me, I'm all about streamlining. Now, it also strengthens your connection. So your readers, your followers, your friends can relate to your growth arc. All right. Because they see themselves within your journey. So all the business people who are creating businesses, especially solopreneur and gigapreneur, we want the people to actually be the one that we serve can see that we are not in the journey. Well, we are in the journey with them, but we're not the main character of that journey. They are the main character of the journey, and you're there to help them. Think about all the Disney movies that you've seen, right? There's a main character and there's always that supporting character. In any great, excellent Hollywood movies, you will see any type of international movies, you will see there's the main character and then there's a character that helped that character, right? It's a supporting thing. When you're a business owner, you are the support. You are not the main character. Your customers are your main character. So the archetypes help you with that. So let's talk about the first one, which is called the Maverick. This is also known as the nonconformist, the rule breaker, the free spirited person. Okay. If your motto out there is rules were made to be reimagined, then you're definitely the Maverick. You disrupt systems and you have bold originality. You don't wait for permission, you build new paths. Perfect for entrepreneurs, people who are creative, who are cultural critics, the activist in you. That means you are a Maverick. Okay, that's your archetype. When the industry told you you needed a degree to matter, you built your own business from scratch and hire them, right? Now, the second archetype is the warrior. This is known as the fighter, the survivor, the protector. Your motto would be, I fight for what matters, even if I bleed, right? So you face hardship, trauma, loss, but you turn it into fuel. Your rebellion is survival, resilience, and strength. And you're perfect for overcomers, the people who are caretakers, the first responders, the people who are, working in the industry of healing, right? Healthcare. You are the warrior. Um, your example would be like, I didn't just survive my childhood, I became the advocate I needed at 10 years old,
right? So that's the warrior archetype. The third one is the healer, also known as the empath, the nurturer, the alchemist. Your motto would be, I rebel by restoring, right? Your rebellion is gentle, very restorative, soul centered, but you disrupt by choosing kindness and peace and inner truth. You're perfect for people who are coaches, who are spiritual leaders, who are mental health advocates, right? These are the healer types. I walked away from toxic leadership and started a space where people feel safe to cry and grow. That's kind of an example of the healer. The fourth one is the visionary. This is known as the creator, the dreamer, the disruptor with a plan. And the motto is, if I can see it, then I can build it. So you rebel through innovation, through possibility, and belief is literally unseen, right? So you're future forward and brave enough to go first, no matter what. This is perfect for people who work in the tech industry. If you are tech innovators, you are educators, you are change makers, you're the visionary. The last one is the sage. This is also known as the truth teller, the mentor, the light bringer, right? Your motto would be, my rebellion is wisdom made visible. You question conventional wisdom and speak the uncomfortable truths. You guide others from plan to purpose using your insights and also legacy. It's perfect for professors, authors, and thought leaders. Okay. An example would be, I challenge my field's narrow definition and teach students how to think, not just follow. Now, with that archetype, sister, which one do you see yourself in if you had to pick one?
I've been sitting there going, I have no idea. um, I've never been good at this part. To pick one and say that's it. I I really don't know. I can see bits and pieces of all of them, but I really wouldn't know what to even begin putting myself into.
Um, okay, so when I was talking to this, I actually see like me, you, Danielle, Mike, April, like I actually put us on a category. So I
Oh,
don't
I'm sure
know
you
if,
did.
yeah, I feel actually, um, I would say that you're definitely a warrior. You fight for what matters, even if you bleed. You have that. You face a lot of hardship, you have a lot of trauma and loss, but you're bringing all of those and fueling your future, right? And your rebellion is literally about survival, resilience, and strength. um More than anything, you're an overcomer. You take care of literally us. And you heal by listening. Healing doesn't necessarily mean like patching up bruises, but healing could be listening, and you actually do that. So I see you as the warrior. How about Danielle? What do you think, Danielle's?
I'm thinking of her more along that healer line, the empathy.
Yeah.
That's just who she is. She feels so many different things, and yeah, I just when you said that and empathy came out, I couldn't see anybody else in that role af-
Yeah.
before her.
Yeah. I also see April in this and Dr. New, if you have to put them in that category, right? I see Dr. New and April and Danielle definitely are like the healers. Where would you put Mike?
Oh, with Mikey, um, he's okay. So I see him a little bit of that visionary
Mhm.
because he's out there creating new things and trying to find ways. He is trying to find ways to disrupt uh, and change things
Mhm.
around a bit.
Yeah, he innovates, he creates possibilities. His belief is unseen. People always underestimate him and what he's capable of rather than help him. But he's about forward, and he's brave enough to go first and to do it first, even if it hurts him, right? Like if he can see it, he can build it, right? So he tries to change the way social media does. So yeah, Mike is definitely the visionary. ChatGPT, I was asking last night about my archetype, like this is my blah 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 blah, and ChatGPT was so quick to say you're the sage. I'm like, okay. I actually thought I was the maverick, but he's like, no, no, you're just sage. I was like, oh, have to
I
think
see
about
you.
that.
I see you in both of those roles.
Yeah, because I thought, oh, I definitely was a maverick, and he's like, no, you're a professor. You literally like, you know, even if it's not, because I always say, no, that's not how it works. You know how I always say that, like, no, that's not how it works. And yeah,
There's another piece of that though too, because you talk about Sage being the truth teller, and you just have this ability to see through the smoke, as it were, to where the truth is. And even though others may not see it, you also know how to guide them to see it.
true.
And that would all be part of that sage mentor. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I do mentor a lot of students. I do one at a time now. I used to do 10 at a time. I just can't handle, my life is right now, so I can't handle too many mentees. But I have one mentee right now. She's in Alaska, but she's good. I think we're just trying to find ways to communicate better, to find how to answer questions when you're just starting your career. Um, just to talk to somebody. And when I do mentorship, I don't just tell them like, oh, once the mentorship is over, it's done. No, you can continuously be my mentee for whatever, however many long years that you want needed. I had a student, had is a keyword, since 2014, but unfortunately things doesn't work out where you want it to be, and it is what it is. I used to feel bad when I like not talk to people certain things, but I think it's more because I needed to create boundaries, right, for
Right.
myself. And I think when you talking about rebel with a cause, I think rebel has a bad connotation, right? Like, oh, you're such a rebel. And they use that as a term to put you down, that you're not like everybody else. You don't follow the rules. You rebel what you're told. You don't listen, right? Like all of the negative things that people tell you, you're basically a rebel. I like to take the play on words on those negative and claim it to the positive. So if you really think about it, everything that's going negative in your life, you can actually spin it into a positive. It's just the way of your mindset, right? Like the
Mhm.
way you think. What are some of your thoughts on that? Like, how do you rebel with a cause?
It's it's going to be it's different ways to be that rebel with a cause. It's some of it is kind of obvious for those who know my story, is being done with the societal expectations, because for so many of us those expectations, they don't even fit, or we don't fit their expectations. um, it's standing up, and in some ways being a rebel is being more true to who you were created to be, your authentic self, than trying to fit the boxes that those around you are telling you you're supposed to be in. That's doing that, just that alone, being yourself in this world. For so many of us, that is being a rebel, because we don't fit the boxes. We don't belong in these spaces other people are trying to tell us we should belong, that we should be a part of. And we just sit back and go, but I don't feel right in that group.
Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna apply a little bit of what I've learned as a coach practitioner on my CBT. Which, if you guys are going to therapy, you're going CBT. Okay, if you're going to therapy, you're using cognitive behavior therapy. Um, that's a plug, right? So first, let's talk about like rebel with a cause framework, like in a CBT form, right? The first thing is the conformity trap. It is a trap because they set the stage with the norms and expectations so you can get boxed in. Okay. What were you supposed to do and what are you supposed to accept? What did your culture, your career, your family, your community teach you to obey and tolerate? Right? I was raised to believe that silence was a strength. You can be seen but not heard. Right? In my industry, questioning authority meant exile, literally. Right? So then there comes a point where you got a breaking point. So the purpose is to show the moment that you couldn't take it anymore. Like, okay, this is enough. I've had enough of this. When I go to Asian community, I'm not Asian enough. When I go to American community, I'm not American enough. That was my breaking point. Okay. I was burnout. It just feels so wrong. Right. And I'm like, you know what? No more of this crap. So having that ceiling point and breaking point, you're like, that's it. I'm done. And then once you have stepped into that breaking point, then the act of rebellion starts to kind of percolate, right? So then you're going to ask yourself, what decision or action made you a rebel? Well, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to have a dissent. I want to defy the status quo, right? Just because I'm Asian doesn't mean I'm good with math all the time, right? That all of that thing. Or you're Asian, you have to be this, this, and this. Or you're American, you have to be this, this, and this. You don't have to, not everyone. Leaving a toxic marriage, quitting a prestigious soul killing job. I have interviewed so many people of that, right? Starting your own platform like us. When doors were closed to us, we opened it up. That is the act of rebellion. People tell you it's going to cost you $30,000 to create your book. We created our book and published so many of them. That is the act of rebellion. And then the fallout and the fight, right? Show that what rebellion cost you and what it taught you. It taught me a lot that in order for people to respect me, I have to respect myself, right? Because people would judge you no matter what you do, good or bad. But did you lose something or did you gain your freedom? Ask that. And how did you keep going? That is the fallout and fight, not the fallout and fight with other people necessarily, because obviously that's visible, but fallout and fight within yourself. What are you willing to take for yourself and stand up for you, right? And then the fifth one is really is the purpose behind it all. Like, why are you doing this? Why? Keep asking yourself that when you do something, because clarity is why behind the rebellion. If you lose your why, you lose yourself, and then you're not aligned anymore, right? Most people who are in the brink of just offing themselves is they lose their why. Why am I here? What is my purpose? And if people around you don't believe in you, you have to believe in yourself, because there are days where no one does believe in you except for you and yourself, right? And then you create that ripple effect, whether it's negative ripple effect or positive ripple effect. We don't judge a ripple effect, we judge just that ripple effect. The purpose of the ripple effect is to show the cost that you've changed on others. How has your stand created healing or freedom or clarity or hope for the community? Right? Because if you choose that, then that's that. Once you do that ripple effect, then of course you get the legacy building, right? Where you end strong message, outlives the moment, and hopefully when you die, that's what people remember you, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So those to me are part of that. Now CBT is really three things. I don't know if you guys know this. It's your thoughts, your feelings, and your behaviors. Whatever you're thinking, you're going to feel it and you're going to behave according to that. That's human nature. Your thought is, I'm a failure. Your feeling is, I'm feeling anxious and hopeless. And then your behavior is, you're going to procrastinate or isolate yourself. That's a triangle in our life: thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, right? So the CBT, cognitive behavior therapy, is to restructure your cognitive, spot and challenge your thinking, Why do you catastrophize everything? Right? If you have a behavioral activation, you reintroduce meaning to activities to fight that depression. And exposure therapy is one of the psychologists or psychiatrists or psychoanalysts basically will give you is progressive steps, like slowly get in that exposure therapy. So if you're scared of heights, you slowly go up in buildings. If you are scared of driving, my husband drives fast, so I can't. But he's scared of like buildings, but I'm scared of driving fast. So exposure therapy works. I don't know. I don't know if I'm willing to do that right now. And then you record your thoughts, log in, examine, and reframe your triggering. What triggers me, right? And then there's the Socratic questioning. Ask, what's the evidence? Instead of what if, just like, what's the evidence? Why am I feeling this way? Is there an evidence because of that? So what are your thoughts? I talk a lot already.
But there's, I mean, there is so much knowledge or so much understanding for all of this. And just being able to understand yourself better, to know more about even what you were just talking about. You know what you're worried about, your fears, all of that, and finding the ways to, even if it's just taking baby steps towards them. Of course, I have to be careful. Anytime I think baby steps, I go back to What About Bob? And and that was just a fun movie. Anyway, but it is. We're dealing with baby steps. We're trying. Either we succumb to the negative thoughts, which we shouldn't, because we all have more value than those thoughts could ever conceive. So then it is finding that way to work through it, whether we're able to talk ourselves through it. We got to have somebody else that we can get that outside opinion of, and sometimes that's really what we need, is the outside opinion. What does somebody else see? How do they see it? Because I know what it's like to be just stuck and you don't know. And if you don't have somebody on the outside to give you that frame of reference, that outside frame of reference, because what you feel in the box, you don't know if that is, you don't really know if that's true, because your fear is always in that box with you, trying to keep you safe, but it's always in such a way that it holds you back.
Yeah. So, okay. Cognitive behavior techniques. Okay. This is what I've learned in, like, I don't know, 90 hours of that. I did it for me. Okay. First of all, let me talk about, like, before we talk about technique, like, what is CBT known to help? So if you have depression, if you have anxiety disorders like general anxiety disorder or GAD, if you have panic attacks, or if you have any phobia, PTSD, OCD, insomnia, substance abuse, chronic pain, or any eating disorders, psychiatrists, psychologists, and psychotherapists will use cognitive behavior therapy along with medicine. Okay. Those are the uses for cognitive behavior therapy. And to be honest, there's literally only 4 techniques on CBT. And you're like, why am I paying these people $250 or $150 to talk? Is because they use the framework. And I want you guys to have this framework as well. The first one is called automatic thought log. You need to track and challenge knee-jerk thoughts. When someone tells you something like a word, and you feel some kind of way, whether you're feeling happy or angry, or all those negative thoughts that you're feeling, versus the happy thoughts, you need to recognize those words. Okay. If you really want to do that, your therapist will tell you, write it down, because we're going to challenge those thoughts. And you can't challenge something you don't know. After you do the log, the second step is the ABC model. A is for activating event. Okay, you need to see, like, okay, what activates it? Why am I feeling like that? And then the B is belief. What is your belief system, right? Understand how beliefs create emotional fallout, right? And obviously, you see the B for belief, and then C for consequence. So if someone calls your mother some name that's not good, that activates anger, resentment, fear, rejection, disgust, right? All of those. Because your belief is that you respect this person. Whether you grew up with them or not, you shouldn't call my mom names or whatever, right? So then what is the consequence? You either punch the person that said it, or slap them. Some people will shoot them. Like, right? Like, you see with the ABC model, once you activate that event, the belief system kicks in automatically because we already know our environment, we know where we grew up, and that's where the consequence, the emotional fallout lies. The point of ABC is if you know the trigger because you log it, you can stop yourself. And that is called behavioral experiments. That's the third step of CBT is behavioral experiments to test the beliefs in real world situations. But you don't know how to test or what to test if you don't know what triggers you. And when you're at the trigger point, you're not going to remember what triggers you, honestly. If you're not cognizant about those words, right? Then the fourth step of CBT literally is activating scheduling, activity scheduling, where you gain to restructure and motivate yourself. When someone asks you or tell you this, you're like, I'm not doing it. You know, when you're younger and you pop off because, like, I feel like you're just invisible. But when you're older, you're like, you know what? This is not worth my time. It takes us 50, 60 years to get there. CBT does is shortcut by being intentional of your actions, words, feelings, and thoughts right now. And literally, that's what CBT, I guarantee you guys, that's what CBT techniques is all about in a nutshell. It's not the situation that is the problem, it's how I think about the situation, right? CBT literally gives us the power to rewrite our inner dialogue, our inner thoughts. You need to unf your brain because our brain and our environment we've been accustomed to is to tolerate and accept, right? That is literally where we are, is to tolerate and accept. What are your thoughts on that, sister?
Tolerate and accept. Yeah, that's that sounds very typical, normal, and I can see that in the past. A lot of this stuff, as you walk through it, talk through it, um, for some of us, it also takes that 50 years or so to be able to listen to this and actually begin to accept even using it, following it, listening it, letting somebody guide us through it because of whatever the experiences were in the past. And because for me, I stayed away from psychology pretty much most of my life. It was not a place that I ever felt safe or comfortable. It's only recently that I'm able to start considering. It's like, and I've got a message to my own doc. It's like, I think I need, as opposed to, I'll get through it. I always get through it. I'll be scarred, but I'll get through it. So we need these kind of things, and we need to go at them with an open mind. That's the other piece. Because for me, I always went, when it came to psychology.
Can I ask you something?
Yep.
Why do you have an apprehension or hate for psychology? Hate might be like a dislike. Hate might be too strong.
There's a few things. One was my first ex, who had after getting married, they got a counseling psych back degree, master's degree. They believed in regular counseling. They were going through it all the time. Um, at one point, they pushed me to go see a counselor. Let's see, the first counselor I ever saw, it was the most weird psychedelic. I didn't know what the hell was going on kind of situation. It's like I still clearly see some of the wacky stuff that was going on, and it's like that was the turn on. Then I was told that I had to go to counseling to get fixed, and so I went to counseling, at which it didn't take long for that counselor to just look at me and go, "You don't need to be fixed. You're fine." So it's a lot of that lived experience, and the feeling that no matter what I did, I'm always being scrutinized, through psychology in one way or another.
I think you just didn't feel safe because I don't hear anything concrete of why. It's more of like because
No,
of your past experiences, you didn't feel safe.
exactly.
Therefore, you're not open minded because literally you said, okay, let's get a PhD in psychology.
Yeah. And we almost did. We were both
We
accepted.
just didn't have the money, but if someone would pay for us, like we need at least 200 grand or yeah, we could do it, right? But
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're doing that because there are okay, so CBT, okay, some people will question CBT is like, oh, it doesn't really work, but if you just try that first step of the triangulation, right? Remember that triangle, guys, right? There's just that triangle. If you remember that triangle, you can help yourself. You don't need a licensed therapist to know CBT. You're like, oh, you need a license. No, no, no. If you can read and you understand what I'm saying right now, you're fine. You can do CBT. Remember the thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Those three are triangle. If you take one of the leg out of the CBT, then you're not feeling that anxiousness anymore, right? Because those are the three legs of why you're going to that cycle loop, right? So when you're talking about like I used to hate like what the frick is a psychotherapy? Like I'm psychotic? Like I used to think that, right? Because we
Yep.
have that we don't know, we're not educated enough. But then literally psychotherapy, one of them, the first one is CBT. That's psychotherapy. You need to change your negative thoughts, change your feelings, and then therefore it will change your actions. If you change your thoughts on why psychology is bad rather than why psychology can help me, right? Then you'll be more open minded to it because now your feelings of psychology has changed. It's not about making changing you because you're wrong, you need to be fixed. It's more of like you need to fix your thoughts and emotions on certain things that triggers you. That and then when that happens, then your action becomes a positive thing. But it's a very practical, structured, and goal focused when you do CBT, right? Because you're gonna identify your belief system. What's your belief? Why do you believe this? And if you have no concrete evidence that you believe it, that means it's your past trauma and experiences that prevented you from doing what you need to do. The second one is psychodynamic therapy. I know it's kind of crazy, but there's more of like the unconscious thoughts, your early experiences, like you said, from your ex. It gives you that emotional conflict. Like, I don't like psychology because of my past experiences, but what if that can help you pass your trauma? You can't because you can't pass that early experiences. So psychodynamic therapy is more insight oriented, right? Let's look at how your relationship with your father, let's look at how your relationship with your ex. That's what they do in psychodynamic therapy. They go back and the pain and the remorse or rejection, it just all comes out. But once you take it out and you're like, okay, that's not true in what they're saying, but this actually can help you. And if you trust that person that you're talking to, you're more willing to like, okay, there's no conflict anymore, I'm going to move on, right? And then there's also the humanistic therapy and psychotherapy where you focus on self-acceptance, your personal growth and that unconditional positive regard, right? You're like, okay, fine, I'm this, and this, but who cares? I'm gonna grow this way anyway because I want to be better, right? So the emphasis is going to be on empathy and authenticity, where yes, I'm an expert, but I'm not an expert on everything. Let's just explore what I can find. And then the DBT, most people will hit DBT, by the way, which is dialectical behavior therapy. This is more like the emotional regulation, the distress tolerance, the interpersonal effectiveness, often used as the borderline personality disorder trauma. Like if you have that borderline personality, let's learn how to sit with emotions without acting on it. Like most guys, especially the killing of in Las Vegas, right? Two men literally got their ego hurt, and he went and shoot the husband and the wife while they're walking in Las Vegas. What was the point? Because they had a beef on YouTube. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Right? But that emotional regulation wasn't there. The distress tolerance is so low, right? And if you have a bruised ego and you get hurt, your reaction to things is violence because that's the quickest, fastest way to react. Because
Ah,
it takes so much to sit still in your emotions and said, yeah, I'm thinking of really bad thoughts, but should I be doing that? And that is the IPT, which is interpersonal therapy, current relationships, communications, social functioning. This is actually more of a short-term solution focus. Like every time you get into an argument, then you can do the interpersonal therapy. But it takes two people though. Like if you want to do that and the other person don't want to do it, it won't work.
right.
Okay. So then you got to look at, okay, how am I reacting when this person does this? Examine the patterns in that relationship, right? So literally, I'm a therapist today. I didn't even know that.
You're a
Anyway,
therapist, but I'm gonna change. I'm gonna do a pivot on you. Okay, I've got a pivot on you.
oh wow. Okay. What is happening?
Hey,
It's called Happy Birthday, sis.
Oh, hi guys.
happy birthday.
To me.
Happy birthday.
To me. Oh my god, that is so cool. Thank you guys for coming. Oh my god, you guys are gonna make me
Happy
cry.
birthday.
I'm a
Something since your birthday's Friday, and
yeah.
I know how much we've gone through over the past months. So it's like, yeah, I think we both need this, and so here you go.
Oh, thank you guys.
Happy
I'm so
birthday
shocked
celebration.
actually. I'm all talking about dialectical behavior.
Oh, I
Well,
was eating that up. I love that stuff. I'm like, woohoo, what are we talking about now with CJ?
Yeah. No, I'm a coach practitioner for CBT, and I spent like almost 100 hours on learning it. And so I'm like, okay, let's share. We went from archetypes to therapy, literally. And CBT, a lot of CBTs today for sure. But yeah, oh my God, I can't believe it. Yeah, so I'm 47, guys.
almost.
Yay. Congratulations.
That's a beautiful age.
Oh my God. Why do I
It
feel so
is.
scared? Like,
Don't. Just drop yourself in, CJ. You're in for the ride of your life.
oh my God. Like, seriously, I'm like, oh, 50 is around the corner. What is happening? Sometimes I feel like I'm 15 and I'm like, wait, no, I'm older. Like, I'm 50, not 15. Oh my gosh. So,
It's just a
April,
number. Just a number, sister.
do you like this?
Yes, I do. Thank you very much.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait. I can't wait for your video because I really want to do that. But yeah, I'm gonna try to not work on my birthday, maybe. I don't know. We'll see because I'm a workaholic. So try not to.
Do something fun.
You need to do something fun this year, dear.
Yeah.
What should I do? Eat out on buffet and just eat out for 2 hours?
Man, if that were it, I wish I could just fly down there and take you to a buffet.
I know. Bella likes sushi. Do you guys like sushi?
Love
Yeah.
it.
Oh, I
Yes.
wish you guys were here.
Well, we're here now. That's what's important.
Yes. Yeah.
And we're always there in spirit.
That's true.
Mm-mm.
That's true. If it's not here, it's on TikTok. Oh, yeah, my God.
So
Yeah.
you
happy
don't have any
birthday.
plans, CJ, for your birthday?
No, I have a lot going on right now. So I said, I'm going to have a big birthday when I turn 50. I'm just going to let this 3 years roll in like nobody's business. If I made it then, but 50, I'll have hopefully a party when I turn 50.
Oh yeah.
And you all are invited, whether you're coming or not.
Let's make it happen. Start talking
Yeah.
about it now.
Yeah. 3 years from now, I want to do it in San Francisco. Somewhere like a destination where we can go and stuff. So think about it. 3 years from now, guys, buy your tickets early.
Yeah.
It's such an event.
It's gonna be. Oh, basically, I just want to do something that was going to surprise you today because
I'm actually really surprised.
it can be hard to surprise you.
That's true. That's so true. Yeah, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do this year, but Mike thought that my birthday was 2 months ago. I'm like, that was not my birthday. Just FYI, that was actually
That was me.
Susanna's. Yeah, and sister Danielle just had her birthday,
Aw.
and yeah, because we're both Cancer. When is your birthday, Deborah?
I'm Cancerian as well. July 2nd.
Oh my
goodness,
goodness.
related. What the heck?
Yeah, my granddaughter and my son are both Cancerian as well.
Oh wow, I didn't even.
Yeah.
So it's a party for us.
It's a
Yes,
party.
yes.
Well, and
I
see,
know. We're like, we need a little cupcake.
what I'm loving is when I see all this stuff, all this Taurus stuff that I have, and it always talks about the most compatible. Cancer is always at the top of the list. It's like, no wonder we get along so well.
Wait, isn't there full moon on Thursday though?
Full moon is Thursday. Yes.
Yeah.
And so I was
You
just
still
sitting
have
back.
that full moon energy for your birthday.
Ooh.
That could be a positive or it could be a really chaotic birthday.
I know we've run into that with the full moon because you remember we figured out
Yeah.
I'm affected by it.
So am I, and Danielle too.
Yeah.
Because when we were talking, we're like, why do we feel crazy, guys? Are we crazy? I think we are just a
No.
little bit. Just a little
We're
bit.
lunatics.
Right. I was like, oh
Lunatic.
no.
That's funny, Deborah.
Hi,
Get it?
Ethel.
The moon,
How are you?
Luna, lunatic.
Lunatics.
I like that
Lunatics.
one. Play on. Oh my gosh, thank you guys so much. And Leo is also here. I see happiest early birthday. I know, I can't believe it. I'm getting old. Yikes. This is the only year that I probably am not going somewhere or celebrating. This is the only year in my life ever. Yeah. This year's been crazy. It's gonna get even crazier, but it'll get better.
It will. It's
And you're not getting older. You're more seasoned. You're more you have
Yes.
more wisdom.
Yes, you're more sage.
Mhm.
She just
Yeah.
said that. She just said that on the archetypes.
because that's yours anyway. So
Yes. That is funny. I love it. Well, thank you guys. I love you guys so much. Thank you.
We love
I am
you too,
surprised, sister.
CJ.
Thank you for doing that. I didn't even realize that that's what's happening. Because I know I'm like, why is she busy pushing those buttons or saying something? Like she's looking down too much. What's going on down there? Like because I can't see.
no, that's me making notes about. Look, every time you start talking, then you start spewing stuff. It's like, okay, I better take notes. So it's like archetypes. I've got all the archetypes down. CBT. I'm writing the CBT things down that you said. So it's me taking notes. It doesn't even give any kind of a hint to what's going on here because that's
Because I saw you. I'm like, you're looking down there. What's going on down there? Like I was like, okay, she's taking notes.
Yeah, when it comes
man.
to you and all the shows that we do, when you get going, or when you're on solo, when you get in the teacher mode, it's like, okay,
I always
Yeah.
like to share a
Next.
framework,
Next.
like something that I've learned, and because you never know. Like, I think part of educating the world is sharing your knowledge, right? Like, that's what even Grace said when she was told by, like, you're being selfish because you know a lot of these things, but you're not sharing. And that stuck to my head. That stuck to my head, my
Mm,
interview with Grace. Um, Deborah, the interview with Grace
yes.
that I had, yeah, that stuck to my head. I was like,
Yes.
okay. I mean, I'm already on that mode, but now I'm more intentional. Like, okay, what can I share that I have spent years teaching in exclusive school only, certain things. And I
Hmm.
actually was thinking last night, I'm like, maybe I should teach economics, like pest analysis, SWOT. I wonder who's gonna listen. Like, or maybe I'll start teaching like business economics and statistics on calculus and how Amazon is working with that. And my daughter's like, Mom, no one's gonna want to know business statistics on economics. Like, no. And I'm like, fine, I won't teach that then. So but I'm always on that mode. But thank you for coming, guys. I really appreciate it. Um, this is legacy making right here, forever. It's on YouTube forever.
Awesome.
It's on
Yeah.
YouTube forever, and it just, like I said, I knew it was something that we needed, and I wanted to do something that would give you something, a boost in a way that you wouldn't expect.
Yeah. Good people in here in this circle. I needed that energy today. Love you guys, especially Danielle, because
Love you guys.
she's on that. We all are going through a lot, right? And for you guys to show up, I appreciate it more than you know.
Mm.
Love you.
Yeah.
It's a
Someday I'll
joy.
share.
Mikey would have been here, but he had something else going on with his family, so
Yeah.
so
I know that one.
sends his love as well.
Yeah. I know that one. He just texted me.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, he told me it was up. I sent him a text this morning as well. But it just it just seemed like the right thing to do, and you are always there, whether it's my birthday, whether it's Danielle's. You're popping up with stuff. It's like, you need to give it back. We need to give it back to you too.
I know. I didn't even know Deborah's birthday. I'm putting that on my calendar now. How about you, April? When's your birthday?
It's in January. I'm a Capricorn girl.
January
All
what?
right.
January 18th. But my
You're right on the cusp.
I'm on more of a Sagittarius. I forgot the houses and all the things. My
Yeah.
astrologer said that, whether it's the influencer, I don't know what that is, but it's Sagittarius energy. So that's why I'm not the hardcore Capricorn. I am goal orientated, give me something to do, me. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what do I need to do? Give me the outline. I'll do this. But it's definitely more Sagittarius energy with that.
All right.
So
Since we're sharing
fine.
birthdays, Susanna, them your birthday, and so is Danielle.
so for me, it's the 23rd of April, which I get to say it's Shakespeare's birthday and death, depending on how you want to look at it, or both. And then as April's doing hers there, it's like my daughter is at the beginning of January, so that means that she's on the same as you, and she's in terms of the Chinese zodiac, she's a monkey, so she's at the tail end of the monkey year.
Wow. I'm a horse. Danielle?
Oh, June 27.
Okay. So now you all have each other's birthday. Yeah.
Gemini.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And Deborah, you were July 6th. What was it?
Second.
July
July
2nd.
2nd. Okay.
July 2nd, yes.
Almost July 4th.
I know. And the day after Canada's birthday, too.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I'm sandwiched in between there.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. So, April, my mom's birthday is January 24th. And then my dad's birthday is January 30th.
Wow.
My father-in-law's birthday is January 31st.
Wow, lots of Januaries.
My
Then my
dad's
both
is January 21st.
Ooh. And then both my girls are November. So Bella's November 12, which is the exact birthday as my stepmom, November 12. I give birth on my stepmom's birthday, literally. And then my oldest, Angelina, is November 27th because I gave birth right after Thanksgiving because I ate too much turkey. Literally. Yeah, so both my kids are November. And then my husband is September 9th, but my ex stepdad was also September 9th.
Yeah, my brothers are both Geminis too, because one is at the end of May and the other one is the same day as Leo, the 10th of June.
Mm.
Oh, Leo's also June. I forgot.
I think your brother and my son might be. It's May 30 is my Ezra, and then
30th,
Elise
yeah.
is May
That's big.
10. Yeah. And Ezekiel's actually November 30th.
Oh, wow. The same as Angelina. So you ate too much turkey too. You just delayed a little bit.
I was so mad because I wanted to go shopping, and they're like, nope, you're staying here. And I'm like, why? Like, can I just go walk around? And they're like, nope. Oh my gosh, I was in labor for so long.
Me too. No, because see, after Thanksgiving, Thursday, right? So Friday, I went in to check because it was already like almost due. So I went in to
Me
check and they're
too.
like, you're not coming out. I'm like, what do you mean? You're like, oh, you're open. I'm like, no, I'm not. And they had to break my water actually, but I was in labor
Me
for so
too.
long that it was not. And I hate epidurals. Ooh, it hurts.
Ugh.
It hurts so bad. Like I
I
won't.
had to
Yeah.
do C-section. I'm too
Me
small.
too.
And I think I went into the hospital on Friday too.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he came out that day or probably the
The
following.
next day for me.
Yeah, the next day. Yeah, it was. But I found out later with Ezra that my hips are too narrow, so I can't push. So all of my kids are C-sections.
Mine too.
Wow.
Can't either because my husband's tall. He's 6'1", over 200 pounds. I'm 5 feet and I was 85, 90 pounds. Well, I was 150 with Angelina. I got steak, lobster, like anything fattening. I was like, I was eating it.
Oh,
Feeding that baby. Feed that
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
Well, happy
but
birthday, CJ. This is so fun.
thank you guys for coming. I appreciate you. Love you guys so much.
Happy birthday. Love you.
Bye,
you
guys.
guys.
Bye.
Well,
Yeah.
keep the celebration going.
Bye-bye.
Awesome. And we're getting to the end of this. So since we're coming to the end of the show, this is episode 98. The 100th episode is in 2 weeks.
Wow.
So you'll be back. You're always back.
I don't even know what my episodes anymore. I do 3 shows. I don't know. I don't even count anymore.
But I'm gonna play the 50 inspirational to close this out.
I'm dancing.
Since you gave it to me. But do you want to talk 50 inspirational real quick before
Apply. That's it. Okay, please.
Jeez. All right, I'm gonna play it and then I'll close everything up after this because it's just so much fun. So
Don't
here
go
we
anywhere, Danielle.
No, don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yo, it's not just a scroll. It's the movement. Get it. Hey, let's get it. Tap it, level up, this the real lane. Dr. LEYLAND dropping fire, not playing games. 50 deep with a mission and a voice. Ain't just talk, we the power, we the choice. We spotlight rebels, dreamers, queens, bosses, builders, legacy machines. You want truth, you want real. This the type of vibe that you feel in, heal.
From the mic to the gram, LinkedIn too. 50 connections, yeah, that's the crew. Wanna grow, wanna shine, wanna be seen. This the dopest network on the scene. So don't just lurk, engage, ignite. Click that follow, change your life. This ain't hype, this a tribe on a mission. Level up, style, legacy, edition. So don't just lurk, engage, ignite. Click that follow,
That's the real man. Hey. Type in, level up, just the real lane. Dr. Leyland dropping fire, not playing games. 50 deep with the mission and a voice. Ain't just talk, we the power, we the choice. We spotlight rebels, dreamers, queens, bosses, builders, legacy machines. You want truth, you want real. It's the type of vibe that you feel and heal.
From the mic to the gram, LinkedIn to 50 connections, yeah, that's the crew. Wanna grow, wanna shine, wanna be seen. This the dopest network on the scene. So don't just lurk, engage, ignite. Click that follow, change your life. This ain't hype, this a tribe on a mission. Level up, style, legacy edition. So don't just lurk, engage, ignite. Click that follow, change your life. This ain't hype, this a tribe on a mission. Level up, style, legacy edition.
It's the movement. It's Getty. Yeah. We all drop night shit. Taking over.
I love
That
it.
was fun. I was dancing.
It's such a blast, and the tone. So it's like you've got the same song, just different music, and
Yeah.
then I asked for. I said, "Can I get that? I want to play it." And so you give me this whole new song.
Yeah, I just don't want YouTube to get you in trouble because it's downloaded on mine, you know. So I'm like, okay, I'll get you a new one. Same wordings though.
Quite frankly, I love this just as much as the other one. It's just that the music, and I'm sitting here just going bouncing around back and forth, and I can see you're moving. And
Yeah, I
you're
was like loving it.
shouting words.
Danielle, how are you doing? We haven't talked to you in a while.
Girl, I'm just still processing. Still processing with everything with Elise, and I don't know if you can see my mess. That's why I'm trying to cover it.
I don't give a fuck. You message so much and you don't even want to know.
We're still live.
uh,
Oh. End the live, sister. End the live.
We're gonna end. So see y'all later.